Hi there, folks, and welcome back to another edition of Mr. Songbird's Writing Mukbang. I hope you're having a wonderful October. But NaNoWriMo is set to hit, and I want to do a little how to get your plan set for NaNoWriMo kind of thing, while having some hot Cheetos mozzarella sticks, homemade. See how these taste. You wouldn't think that Cheetos make a good mozzarella stick, but works well. Ooh, that spice is kicking in. And look at all that cheese. See how melty it is? My wife adores cheese balls, so I know she's going to like watching that part. We'll be referring to in the notes for quite a bit. Now, first of all, when it comes to NaNoWriMo, if you're, and there's multiple ways to do it. You can do it with, the standard method is just do like one big long novel. You could also do it with a bunch of short stories. Let's say it. But regardless, you need to have an idea that you're passionate enough about that 25 days in, 5,000 words to go, you're still ready to, keep going, even though you're absolutely exhausted, of that concept. In short, you've got to want to do the story idea enough that even when it's terribly boring, when you're just grinding, you just want to cry your eyes out, you can keep going. On a similar note, set a realistic word count goal. How should I put this? 50,000 is the standard for NaNoWriMo. But it doesn't mean you have to see what you choose. Plenty of people opt to write less. Some even choose to write more. That's pretty darn impressive, honestly. But even if you're only writing 25,000 words in a month, that's 25,000 words in a month. That's more than a lot of people will ever write in their lifetimes. And of course, whatever your goal is, you then need to figure out how am I going to achieve this goal? How am I going to make sure I have enough words so that at the end of the month, I cross that finish line? It's, not gonna lie, it's definitely hard. I've written a novel before, and NaNoWriMo, by the end of it, I was pretty much done. But you can do this. The trick, like I said, is to make sure that you plan ahead. I'm not just talking in terms of outlining the story. What I mean is, basically do the writing earlier than you absolutely have to, so you give yourself some slack. Because speaking as someone who in college had a tendency to finish everything at the very last minute, it definitely helps with creative writing when you have a bit of slack in case something goes wrong. Because let me tell you, nothing's going to suck more than being on 49,500 words when midnight on the 30th hits. Because there isn't a teacher to let you ask for an extension on it. You either finish it or you don't. Although, granted, even if you don't finish, the fact that you've come this close to doing it is something to be proud of. Now, some basic things that help: having an outline. Especially that outline is one that's solid and can get you to 50,000 words. I gotta say, I really like these. Like, even without the, mozzarella. Like, how should I put this? I always like hot, Cheetos. And this tastes kind of like, despite the fact that maybe hot Cheetos, it's like standard breading, just spicier. Now, some basic, simple tips that often help when it comes to writing for NaNoWriMo. Like, have smaller goals or milestones that you do on the way. Like, basically, rather than I've written 1,000 words, I have 49,000 to go. Your goal for the day is 2,000 words. You've written 1,000 words. You're halfway there. Because there's something they call someone who writes 1,667 words every day, or 2,000 words every day in the month of November. Someone who finished NaNoWriMo. Now, some recommendations I read is have some good prompts in case you have trouble. That can help. I'm personally the fan of, if I get kind of stuck, start describing stuff. Lots of stuff. Everything you can describe. Like, go into detail as to why this bicycle is the epitome of terrible bikes. Stuff like that. And one thing that also helps is give yourself a little reward system. Like, every time you achieve one of those milestones or goals, like, either give yourself a pat on the back, let your fellow writers know, like your Facebook friends, 20,000 words done today. Go me. Or even just like, allow yourself to buy like that dragon fruit refresher from Starbucks, especially without the ice. Seriously, get it without the ice. It's even better, and it's like you get more drink. As opposed to just a bunch of ice. I'm going to go over how I do it myself for NaNoWriMo. Now, my goal is, simply put, 50,000 words of fiction flat out. I'm going to have all my outlines, done ahead of time. And I'll put it this way: they'll be nice and solid ones. Not looking to knock anything out of the park here. Just looking for some nice, solid fiction writing outlines. Now let's talk about how I'm going to do it. The goal is 50,000 words in 30 days. What I've decided to do is, simply put, for 2 days every week, or technically every Monday and Wednesday, I will write 3,000 words between the hours of 1 and 4 o'clock. That adds up to 24,000 words over 4 weeks, plus an additional 3,000 words because the first day of the month is on a Wednesday. Where there are 27,000 words, there are 23,000 words. My plan is that every day I'm going to do, how should I put this? Every time I start writing, I'm going to my goal is to write 250 words. And I'm just going to try to do my normal hour a day. Based on past, experience, I should be able to crank out about 2,000 words that way, per day. And given that I'll have 21 days to do this, and that should put me at 42, a lot. We'll call it 69,000 words, so a bit more than I'll need. So that gives me, some of that, slack in case I'm wrong. Like maybe I only managing to do 1,500 words a day. Or maybe like, towards the end, my mind starts melting. And the thought of, looking at my, word processor makes me want to tear my own eyes out. Hopefully not. Hasn't happened yet. For a reward system, I just allot myself like $1 or $2, a day, where I can use it however I wish. Whether it's like just like buying some silly game, or going to a local restaurant that I like. Seriously, I really liked that latest taco shop last week. Definitely check out that video or restaurant. Both are good, especially the restaurant. Frankly, I'm just a guy who talks about how the food's good, because that was good. And like I said, I know what I'll be describing, and I'll be doing a lot of description if it comes down to it. Because the goal is, each time, 250 words as fast as I can. Now, your goal might be something different. Maybe you've only got 3 hours, 2 days a week to write. Well, if you can pull off 3 hours, and call it 2,000 words an hour, 3 hours a day. Let's say 6 times 2,000, 12,000. You'll be just a smidge short. At the end of the month. And maybe if one of those days is Wednesday or Thursday, you'll have just enough to finish it off. If not, there's probably a way to pull it off. Now, make sure you get plenty of sleep. Like the whole work into the night thing, that can work on like a short-term sprint, but this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And if you sprint and go, I'm gonna work until 4 o'clock in the morning every day, it's not gonna turn out well. Let's say some other useful tips are: find somewhere that you can just sit down, relax. Specifically, time, space, where you're not going to be interrupted, by other people. Because let me tell you, multitasking is not good for something like this. It's just not going to work well. So if you want to do something at the same time, try alternate what you're doing rather than do it both at the same time. It's terrible for creativity. I've tried. That spice definitely starting to kick in. But now, as I did last year, I'll be doing weekly progress updates on my NaNoWriMo to see how long it takes me to get to 50,000. And if I fail completely, watch as I have complete writer's block all month and never get so much as a word written. Well, maybe not, but we'll see. And that's going to start, that next week? Probably the week after. Because I can't imagine that the video I post on the 1st will have a whole lot to say about what I've written when it's literally the first day I start. But for now, I will let you folks go. And I will see you come next week and come NaNoWriMo. Don't worry, folks. We can get through this and hopefully have a lot of fun doing it. Until next time. Bye, folks.